Yo, what is up YouTube? I've always wanted to make a PK guide for beginners, but never really got into it. I've seen the same question pop up in YouTube comments and popular live streams. How do we get better at PKing? Do you have any tips? The most common answer usually is just go out there and PK, learn while doing it. But honestly, you should probably just do these practices you see in this video before going into the wildy, and you should definitely spare out at least 1,000 mystic sets with the right motivation and practice. In other words, there's not much practice in going to the wildy and dying over and over again, being used like a dummy or a goblin by someone who knows what they are doing, and you're just spam clicking your foot to stay alive. It doesn't really matter in which order you practice them, but this is one taking your Ice Barrage or your Ice Blitz first, or any mage spell you want to use while PKing. Just get a friend or get a second account, go to PvP Arena, set up with whatever you want, whichever gear, whichever food, and just one tick the barrage over and over again. Try to put on your defense gear or your tank gear right after you barrage or barrage. For the extra practice, it's not, you don't have to do it, but most people do it, so you might as well. If it's too hard for you, then just practice the barrages first, and then once you get better, you start wearing the tank gear right after. These are just basic armor switches. You don't really have to do these in the PvP arena. You can go train your agility and just place your armor where you want it to be. Try and figure out which placement works best for you. Down in the bottom, up top, on the right, on the left, just figure out what you want. And then just do the switches and keep doing them over and over again. You can add in the prayer switch as well, or the plus, your bonus, if you want, or if you're comfortable with it. And just keep practicing. One ticking your special bar or your special attack. Just grab some weapons, grab some armor, and then just try and one tick your special attack on your friend or your second account. Keep in mind that there's a certain tile distance where you can one tick it, and it's like 4 or 5 tiles, and anything beyond that is not gonna one tick, so you're gonna have to click closer to your opponent and then do the switch. Triple eating or double eating, I would suggest just filling up your inventory with brews, anglers, and karambwans, or whatever makes the triple eat work, and just keep triple eating them. You can also just do a triple or a three-way switch, armor switch to practice, but it's gonna be armor instead of the food, so maybe that's gonna be an issue or distracting. And just keep practicing that triple switch. Practicing your prayers. Just find an altar and click your prayers with a certain thought process behind them. Of course, don't just spam click them. And the altar resembles your opponent. The moment you switch your prayer, you click back on the altar as a opponent, click attack. Certain confirmation. You can kill Zulra if you're capable of doing it, and practice your prayers a little bit over there. You can kill Yui Kodal to train your prayer ability a little bit. And there's a lot of creativity in the RuneScape world, so you can figure out other fun ways to train your prayer. But this one is very easy. If you really want to get better at PKing and switching your prayers. Just some tick practice, going from magic to ranged or to melee. Just be creative with it, try out different weapons, different spells or whatever, and just try and figure out when your next attack is instant, pretty much. As you can see, I whip him and then I go for the crossbow, or I'm gonna whip him. I wait a certain time and then I can instantly attack my opponent again. If you do it too fast, you're just gonna stare at your opponent and they can just put on the right prayer and you're not gonna hit off prayer. But if you're fast, you can keep switching over and over again, and eventually you'll figure out the timing behind every weapon, and it's gonna be a piece of cake. You just have to keep doing it over and over again. So pretty much just practice your one tick mage attacks, practice your tick perfectness, practice your triple eats, practice your prayers, and which one did I forget? Practice your insta specials. And I think that's it, honestly. It's like 5 things you should practice before going into the wilderness, and you're gonna save yourself a lot of GP, a lot of headache, a lot of deaths, a lot of mystic sets, a lot of lumbridge teleports. So go on and practice.